This week on the Nerdy Gritty, we talk E3 2018.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I'm Fox.
I'm Dez.
And I actually want to start us off with a bit of a science fact
Ooh,
that I discovered
science.
Personally this week.
Okay, wait. When you say discovered personally, do you mean like...
I experienced it firsthand.
Okay, so this isn't like, I read this article, like I discovered this article.
No, firsthand.
Okay. So Dr. Kyle Martin Fox.
That's what they call me.
Yep.
I have a PhD. So... we're going to be talking about E3 as
Pretty
we just talked
and
about.
Dumb.
I'll
PhD.
take it. I'll take it. No, we're going to be talking about E3, but it was actually during E3 that I learned this.
All right.
Did you know that things like that aren't actually part of your body can feel physical pain? Like, as in, like, connected to you in a way.
What do you mean?
My wallet hurt significantly while watching all of E3. It was hard to get through.
I saw a GIF that was that end scene of Spider-Man where the Sinister Six is just beating the crap out of him.
Trailer that or demo that they put out.
Right, but it's the Sinister Six just beating the crap out of Spider-Man.
Right.
And Spider-Man just has my wallet written on him.
Yep.
And then it's like Ubisoft, EA, Nintendo, and they're all just beating the crap out of Spider-Man.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, no, it was... I'm going to be spending a lot of money on
my
games
gosh.
from this year.
It was
such a
good
E3.
E3. And like every year is a good E3.
Yeah, in some ways.
But this one in particular was really, really good.
Video games have been great for a long time.
Yes.
But they've been super great for a couple years now.
I feel like we're reaching a point in our console generation, and it happens this way with every console,
Sure.
where they're at their peak. And they're reaching where, like, we know how to make the best games for our consoles.
It's not just about figuring it out anymore. It's about what more can we do.
Right. They're like 4.5, 5 years old now.
Right.
For a 7 to 10 year cycle, and they're just like hitting that high point.
Right. There's
before they go
quality,
on to the next
quality art coming out.
Right.
And it's great.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But before we get to E3, let's make this quick, because just
quick.
Spoiler warning, this is going to be a long episode.
E3 had a lot. We're going to talk about all of it.
Yes. So, but what have you been up to, Fox?
Watching E3, basically. Yeah. This week was not a whole lot going on. My mother-in-law was in town, so just spent a lot of time with her, which meant less movies and stuff. Right. And I've already I'll talk about the movie I saw next week.
Oh, okay.
Remember? Because E3... anyway, because time travel. But anyway, it's not a huge movie anyways. Ocean's 8. It was fine. Other than that, pretty much. Like, right. I finished work. Like, I drive a school bus, and school got out 2 days ago now.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
No, they don't.
They want to hear about pop culture stuff.
Now I have time. So I've been really excited for Fallout 76. Like, I love Bethesda. You'll learn more about that later. But Fallout 76 looks really exciting to me, really interesting, and it has made me want to play Fallout 4 again. So I loaded it up, and I've been playing a little bit of my last save just to get back in touch with like the controls and how it works. And I will be doing a full playthrough of it.
A full playthrough?
Probably through in the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
In anticipation of 76.
Nice.
So I've been playing that a little bit, and also still on that God of War because it's awesome, but also hate Valkyries. Now it's like a hate playing because I want to murder them. Each one takes so long, and I may cave and start buying resurrection stones, even though I know it's something in the game. And
there's no reason.
I just feel like it's an extra challenge I've placed on myself.
You have the ability right now where Atreus throws out healing stones to you. It's exactly the same thing, except this one happens when your health is at 0 rather than when it's at like 10%. You just get some health back.
That makes sense.
Like, it's exactly the same thing.
Okay,
anyway.
I'll probably do that because I do want to move on to other stuff, even though I love God of War. But that's about it for me.
I watched a couple of really bad movies, and it was a lot of fun.
And do you watch good movies anymore at all?
I mean, sometimes
Here's the thing: bad movies are easier to find.
Well, yeah, and more than anything, they're just movies that I haven't seen yet. Like, if it's a good movie, I've already seen it. So, like, I watched Thor Ragnarok again because it's such a fun and good movie. I'm very excited to watch it again.
Yeah, this weekend.
It's on Netflix right now.
It's great.
So I watched. I won't go into. I think I watched like 3 different ones, but I'll go into just one particular. The 2002 hit movie Rollerball, starring some dude and LL Cool J.
Okay,
I don't know the other dude.
For some reason, I'm picturing Ethan Hawke.
No.
Okay.
It's some dude.
Some dude,
LL Cool J, and Rebecca Romijn Stamos. And
early 90s. Or early 2000s.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s, absolutely. And it has a 14 Metascore. It has a 3.0 user score out of 10. So, I mean, like, even the users don't like this. Yeah.
Users typically always love it more than... I mean, I guess a 3 out of 10 is more than a 14 out of 100.
So 1.4, but yeah. There's a 15-minute scene that is all in night vision, so just everything's green, and it's entirely unnecessary. There's no reason that it should be in night vision.
Okay, give me a 10-second plot summary.
It's real simple. Dude from America isn't good enough athlete to make it in the big leagues, but and this is like, it's super xenophobic, the show is, because I think they're trying to say it's like Russia or Eastern Europe, but everybody not America is into this really graphically violent sport called rollerball.
Sure.
And if you're a B+ athlete in America who can't make the big leagues, you can still be an A+ rollerball guy.
Take that, rest of the world.
But it's literally like, they go to China, they go to Great Britain, they go to like everybody not America they go to, and it's clearly like, and they portray it all to be like these dystopian corporate run countries. Everything not America is a dystopia. It's a really xenophobic movie.
Real bad.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they just discover that, the corporations are fixing all the games and making it more violent so that they can make more money on the ratings. And it's so dumb because
really boring.
For unexplained reasons, everybody knows this and is in on it, except for the team that main characters are on. And so, like, they'll find out, like, it was fixed that this person was going to get really, really hurt. And the other team was told. But, like, every other team at some point is told, and they're in on it, and they know this is going to happen.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, just their team doesn't know that this is part of the thing.
Yeah, because the audience is watching their team.
Right. And so, I mean, the whole thing is really, really dumb. But it was a bad movie.
Yeah,
a funnily bad movie, but also
bad.
Really bad.
I just want to bring up one little thing here.
Yeah.
Today, or very recently, I don't know if you've seen these, but some pictures have, like, some pictures from the production of Wonder Woman 2 have come out.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It was actually, like, there weren't even, I mean, there might be some leaks, but one of them actually came from Patty Jenkins, the director. So,
yeah.
Did you know that it's set in the 80s?
Okay,
and apparently called Wonder Woman 1984. Maybe that's a working title, but if you read really comic books, whenever there's this character or this whatever with the year, it's usually some kind of alternate universe,
right?
Or just like a fun 6-issue one-off kind of thing.
And if it's specifically 1984,
yep,
it'd be really cool if it was like an Orwellian universe.
And all of the pictures, this is in the Patty Jenkins picture. Steve Trevor's in it.
Really?
Right. Played by Chris Pine and everything.
So it's probably going to be some like kind of the
weird alternate universe.
Extended universe.
Look, there's been theories that the next Flash movie will be a Flashpoint. And I'm wondering if this will somehow tie into that. I think DC, it would be weird to have to reboot after 4 movies. But it would be a good idea.
Yes.
It would be a very good idea. So next thing should be Flashpoint, then like Convergence type stuff. And
it must be kind of nice, as far as DC goes, to have such a successful series run as Flashpoint to just have in your pocket if you ever need to reboot.
Yes.
And then another thing like Infinite Crisis was such a successful thing in your pocket if you ever need to just reboot.
100%.
Like Marvel doesn't have that. If they ever need to reboot, they don't have like House of M?
House of M could be a thing that...
Except for Scarlet Witch. No, I guess Scarlet Witch is, like, they kind of nod to her being that powerful in the movies.
Yeah, 100%. And Marvel's main problem could be helpful, actually. What's her power level? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
She could just kind of go crazy at the loss of... Vision and snap. And even though there's already been a snap.
So, anyway.
Yes, let's get into the main thing.
One more quick thing.
Oh, okay.
I sat and I played through Bound in one sitting.
Yes.
The indie game Bound. And it's a really beautiful and poignant game, and I'm really happy that I played it. And if you are a person that has ever dealt with kind of trauma in your life, it's worth playing or watching a playthrough of. I will say several people, particularly Dan Floyd of Extra Credits, well, formerly of Extra Credits, Dan Floyd played through it for his Extra Frames animation series, and it's very good. And cool. I recommend watching a playthrough. You can watch mine. Mine's going to be coming up, but I don't want to sound like I'm advertising us. I want to say watch a playthrough of Bound. So
that's true.
So, okay. E3 2018.
Yes.
There is so much to say for it.
It ended 2 days ago.
2 days ago. So, but you'll be hearing this
the big conference
5 days ago.
Yeah, the announcement.
Yeah. So here's kind of our formula. We're going to talk about the big three publishers.
Right.
Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft.
Right.
And we're going to be talking a lot about them. And then we're going to be hitting all of our main points for everybody, but specifically the other ones. And the other ones are EA, Ubisoft, and
Square Enix.
Square Enix and Bethesda.
No. Oh yeah, and Bethesda.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask. We're going to ask. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but we're going to ask who won E3.
Right.
Well, we're going to have a caveat on that question, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be that straightforward.
I have to stay tuned for that too.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so Fox, let's start out with just the first one of the big three that came up, which was Microsoft.
Yes.
Give me some of the things you were most excited about seeing in this.
So here's the thing: I don't have an Xbox, and I owned a 360 for a little while, but I don't care what Microsoft really like. For that, I was like, oh, maybe there's some stuff that will be universal, like it'll be all platforms, and that'll be cool. But I wasn't really super interested. I was actually pleasantly surprised with what they had, mostly because they had some stuff that was for other platforms.
Right.
It's like, I don't care about Halo, whatever. Like, great. I hope it's great. I hope people love that game. I don't care about it.
Right.
Because I can't play it with what I have. Unless it's online on the PC, I guess. Anyway, biggest thing for me, and I'm just going to get it right out there, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
That was the last thing they showed. And that game, I, of course, always want to get the big, like, $200 collector's editions of every game that I ever buy, just because I'm a sucker for, like, action figures and collector things.
Yeah.
Oh, this comes with a map. Cool. There's a map in the game. You don't need it. It's just kind of cool. I want all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077, I will probably get that.
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited for it, but also because CD Projekt Red, the developer who made the Witcher trilogy and has GOG.com,
right.
They are a quality company.
They really are.
They've proven themselves to be able to make great games, but also their like policies as regarding DLC, like they basically just harken back to the old like expansion pack style of things, where it's like, here's another 20 hours of gameplay for $15. And it's like, oh, this is great. GOG.com is another like game like market. It's not really you don't play games off it, but it's a store essentially, but it's all DRM free. Mm-hmm. And that's how they fund their games. Like they're a quality company, and I want to support them.
Yeah.
And so I will do that with Cyberpunk 2077. I was disappointed that there wasn't much gameplay that they showed. Right. There might have been in something else that I haven't seen, but I was really excited by the trailer. I was really excited by how bright and colorful this dystopian like cyberpunk universe is. Usually there's a lot of color in cyberpunk, but usually it's also like dark and depressing,
grim,
and that could be a thing. But this trailer was real fun and real active, and like everybody, the words in the trailer were like, "This city sucks. Everybody wants to live here anyway." Like, okay, I'm on board. I'm down. What about you? What was your first thing that comes to mind for Microsoft?
Well, immediately it's the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and because more than anything, it's From Software, and From Software makes quality games, just like you're saying with with CD Projekt Red. From Software makes games. They do the Dark Souls series. They do Bloodborne. They've also done some older games that people may not remember. And these games are all very, very good.
Right.
And they have this kind of mindset of beauty to the way that they make games. Yeah. And they are very intentional with that beauty. And to have that beauty come into a feudal Japan setting is really exciting to me. Yes.
And I'm a sucker for anything set in feudal Japan.
Agreed.
But okay, so quick theory here. Do you think it's going to be directly related to anything else, or is this a new series?
I think this is going to be a new series, and are you ready for this? I think that they're going to, and this is just, I have no basis on this, I haven't read any articles, I might be already wrong.
Sure.
There might be already evidence that I'm wrong in this.
Right.
But I'm going to venture a guess that this is not going to be Souls-like.
It definitely seemed much faster.
It did.
And much more traversal. Right. People jumping up on things. And, he basically had, a grappling hook that he would, chain himself to, enemies. I disagree. I think it'll be very Souls-like. I think it'll be Souls-like in the sense that Bloodborne was Souls-like, where it was similar, but much faster, had different styles. I think this will just be a greater derivation from, the typical I
think that
style.
It would be wise for them to try out of their formula right now.
Oh, I agree. I agree. They should, and I think it'll be good. I just think it'll be very similar. I think it'll be
obviously it's made
sequel
with the same engine and the same.
Sure, exactly. That's
mindset,
what I'm saying.
But I don't think it's going to be a collect currency.
Oh,
you
okay.
Die,
so
that
mechanics
remains
wise,
with you, yeah. Because Bloodborne is exactly Dark Souls, but instead of souls, you collect blood.
Essentially,
and
yes. And it's slightly faster.
And that has become that's what a Souls-like is.
Soulsborne,
So that's Neo is that.
How are we going to add more parts to that word? If it's Soulsborne already, is it going to be Souls?
Shadow Soulsborne. Sekiro Soulsborne.
Yeah, it's just going to be the longest word ever.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah, that's a pretty exciting one. Although, as far as...
Here's what I'll say about Microsoft's presentation that most impressed me, and because, we said Microsoft's presentation, and then we talked about different publishers, because Microsoft showed a lot of different publishers.
They did.
But here is what I was impressed the most with by Microsoft itself. Here's the facts of the matter. Microsoft has the most powerful system on the market. The
Xbox One X.
The One X is the most powerful system on the market. But as far as software success and console selling success goes, they're playing catch up big time.
Yeah, with both.
They really are.
I'm assuming Sony and Nintendo.
Yes. They're playing catch up big time. It was either the 360 or the One X or the Xbox One that is just not sold in Japan at all anymore.
Right. I think it's with the Xbox.
Xbox One.
The one. Yes.
Yeah, Xbox One. Just because there was no interest that it wasn't even worth Microsoft shipping it over there. They're playing catch up big time.
That's a big market to not be a part of.
Right. Huge market.
Right.
And so they came with a really big presentation, but I just feel altogether they came with a sense of humility. They never outright said we're playing catch up, but they came saying, hey, everybody had all of E3 had this, the phrase, we listened to you and we heard you.
Well, everybody always says that.
Right. But Microsoft really came with hey, we heard you saying this. We don't have console exclusives, or we don't have this type of stuff.
Here are two.
And so, what really excited me about Microsoft was their proactive desire to purchase other publishing studios.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or other development studios.
While I was watching it, I was kind of like, okay, great. Whatever, what are they working on? That kind of thing. But also I was like, well, if they're widening their, as long as they allow them to continue doing cool things, then I'm pretty happy. What was it, Team Ninja?
Team Ninja is the one that I was really
and Team Ninja,
disappointed that it's not
they
Sony.
Made Hellblade, and that's unfortunate. For us,
yeah,
I really hate console exclusivity as a consumer, but I understand it's a good business move, and I agree with you. They did some, they were basically like, hey, we listened. here are 50 new games.
Yeah.
And lots of, not lots of them. There still weren't very many exclusives. So if you're a soldier in the console wars, then you still can feel superior for some reason if you're a Sony fanboy. But, I agree. Their presentation was better than I expected because they just felt like they cared a little bit more about what people care about.
I mean, here's the truth. I'm a Sony fanboy in as much as I own a PlayStation 4 and not an Xbox One, and therefore I prefer Sony over Xbox because
it's the one that I care about.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to the one that I can't play.
This is the first time ever that I have seen what Microsoft is presenting and said, I may consider buying an Xbox One.
There was one game that, like Forza Horizon Motorsport, whatever Forza Horizon, I think it's just called. That one looks interesting. I am always interested in being racing games at some as long as they're very arcadey. I loved Burnout.
Paradise.
Paradise. I played a lot of that. I don't like simulators. I don't like super realistic. I used to
Gran Turismo.
I played Gran Turismo on the PS2, 3 and 4, but I just don't care about those anymore. I really like arcadey feeling type racers, and Forza Horizon seemed like that. I'm a sucker for an open world every time. That wasn't, and I don't care about Halo. So there was a game that I was like, oh, I wish I could play that. But it definitely wasn't enough for me to say, I should get an Xbox One.
Right.
Because I have 2 systems to buy games for now anyway, including the Switch. So it really is just too much.
Yeah, for me, this wasn't I need to go get one right now. This is, you have intrigued me, Microsoft. You have my attention.
Right.
I'm going to see what you come out with, and I'm considering it. Before, it was never a possibility. What disappointed me about them, though, was at the very end, they decided to drop that they're developing a new system.
Yeah, which is weird.
That was entirely unnecessary. We know for a fact that, of course, all 3 big ones are developing their next system. They're studying and thinking about it.
They're just developing the next system before they release the system before it.
Right.
So they could have said nothing, which would have been basically fine. Nobody was expecting that or needed it.
Right.
Or said, we're developing our next system with backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Then there's a reason to get the new games that they're announcing also.
Or to just tag anything on that will be something more than just development exists.
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah.
We know that. So to me, that was most definitely please pay attention to us.
100%.
Please. You know, and so...
Did anybody actually think this would be their last system?
Yes. And this is it. Swan song for Microsoft.
See you later.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Get back into more Windows.
Right. I really did like the preview for Beyond Good and Evil 2. That one was really cool.
Again, another one that I'm like, whatever.
The first Beyond Good and Evil was a great cult classic. I didn't play it, but I watched a playthrough of it like so many different things. I'm a father of 3, so I don't have time to play a lot of games, but I can watch games on my second monitor at work.
Yep.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Jump Force I want to bring up. Do you remember that?
No. What was
Jump Force? Did you see the trailer for Jump Force?
I saw everything.
It's shown in Jump. It's all their animes in a fighter.
Oh, yes.
Remember? Goku's there.
Yes.
Naruto. Goku, Naruto, and Luffy from
One Piece.
Luffy, whatever it is, say it, fighting Frieza.
Yes.
And then at the end, there's Light and the
Death Note.
The Death Demon guy from Death Note. And I was like, this is kind of awesome. Part of me was like, this is kind of awesome.
Immediately, my very first thought was when Naruto was there and Luffy was there, I was like, cool. And then Goku's there, and I'm like, okay, this is dumb because he would just kill all of them, fighting Frieza. This is what there's a way giant power difference. But then I remember there's an Injustice fighting game, where Green Arrow shoots Superman with arrows, and I can't.
I kind of went through the same thing, but I was like, wow, this is stupid. It's just a bunch of fan serve. Oh wait, I'm really excited for Smash Brothers. Never mind.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, but with anime characters.
So for a second, I was like, this is awesome.
This is fine.
I've suddenly changed my mind.
I'm not going to play it, very likely am not going to play it, but
right.
It's fine. I'm not angry. Like it, I appreciate it actually because it's goofy,
right?
And I like goofiness in games.
It was real goofy, and the fan service thing. I hope they release it for $40. You know what I mean?
Sure, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I may even be interested in that. You know, kind of like you and I got Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
So,
it was. Yeah. I mean, you liked it more than I did, or played it
really
more.
Did.
But
yeah.
It's probably not something I'll ever enjoy or intend to play.
Was it Microsoft that did the motorcycle one, Excite Bike, but not Excite Bike for Nintendo? What's
I don't
it
even
called?
remember.
Dang it!
Yeah, all the other. I'm looking at a list here, and that's definitely not coming up. This is the major announcements. But
that might have been EA or Ubisoft.
Yeah, most of the other things I want to talk about are not specifically Microsoft.
Okay, well go ahead.
So yeah, I'm pretty much done on Microsoft.
On Microsoft,
it's the one I paid the least amount of attention to.
Yeah,
I was doing something else.
So if you were to give a grade overall to Microsoft's presentation,
personally, C+.
Yeah,
definitely fine. Like definitely passing, but personal interest, not much going on there. Because I knew everything that I was interested in would obviously be able to, I could play in something else except for Horizon, which is like a mediocre amount of interest. Like,
right.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
For me, I'd give them a solid B. More than anything, just I gave them the most improved award.
Sure.
Because they had a lot of...
Definitely.
Of like, hey, we're trying to do better. We really are.
Yeah.
For me, what I struggled with is there was a lot of pandering. Every preview they showed, it was like, exclusive.
Exclusive.
World premiere.
This isn't the first time they've done that.
Right.
That's happened before. But yes, it was. They announced they showed so many games that it just became like funny.
And over and over again.
Okay, we get it, guys.
Yes, and then on top of that, when you compare it to the fact that nobody else did that, like Microsoft has done that before,
yes,
but other people have also done that before,
right?
But they're the only people who did that this year, and there was most definitely it's like, you know, the youngest child who's jumping up and down and saying, "Pay attention to me, mom and dad."
A little bit.
Like their presentation felt like that, but their games looked good, and I had fun with their presentation, and so I'd give them a solid B for sure. All right, let's move on to the next presentation, which was. Do we want to do Sony first or Nintendo first?
No, Sony was after.
Sony was. So we're going to go chronological. Okay. So
actually, no, you're right. Let's do Nintendo. I want to talk most about Sony stuff.
Yeah, I agree
because I loved it. But let's talk about Nintendo. They had a lot less than others. Quantitatively.
They had a less quantity of other things. Quantitatively.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always an extra T in there when I say
quantitative. They're like the goose in Charlotte's Web. There's a deep cut for you.
Nice.
Do you even know that reference?
I've seen Charlotte's Web a whole lot.
So I
watched it a lot as a child.
Yeah. I did too.
Some goose. All right. Yeah, okay. So
Nintendo.
Not Sony. I'm on the wrong thing.
Okay,
yeah, let's talk about Nintendo.
I'll start with Nintendo
Go
first thought. So this was one that I was particularly wanted to be attentive to because I do not have a Switch, but I have been looking for a reason to buy a Switch.
You could be very easily convinced.
Yes. So I was like, okay, Nintendo, convince me. And so I started this, and immediately my first thing with Nintendo for a long time, because... Well, I'll finish my thought before I move to the next one. My first thing with Nintendo for a long time has been, guys, please, new IP. You have been riding these flagships for a long time, and yet your flagships are the biggest flagships.
They are. Those flags are very large.
Right. You know, even if you go Kratos, Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, you know, whoever it's going to be, Nathan Drake... Mario's gonna shoot all
Everybody
of those
knows
down
who Mario is.
Samus,
a tenth
Link.
of the world. No, a 15th of the world will know who Marcus Phoenix is.
Right. So, to me, it is their flagships are the biggest and the best always. But man, they've been riding them for a while.
They have
really.
Now I'm gonna push back though. They still do great with them.
They do fantastic.
They've been riding Zelda or Link for a long time.
Well,
but the last Zelda game that came out is one of the greatest games ever made.
This has been one of the greatest games ever made. And before that, what people would point to as one of the greatest games ever made was Ocarina of Time.
Exactly.
The previous Zelda game.
Well, not previous, but
like a previous Zelda game.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, yes, they do very, very well with them.
Right.
But just because Naughty Dog does very, very well with Nathan Drake doesn't mean they can't also make Last of Us. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I mean, Nintendo has a lot more than just Zelda, of course.
But they can expand, as my
they
point.
should. Yes.
So they
Agreed.
should expand.
I'm trying. I feel like I'm arguing. I'm not arguing.
Well, their biggest hits were Smash Brothers, Mario Party, and Fire Emblem, which I was very excited to see 2 of those 3. I'm not a big Fire Emblem fan.
It looks interesting to me.
It does. It looks very interesting. But those were some of their flagships that they wrote out. I was really impressed to see some of the new IP, most specifically Daemon X Machina. That looked really cool to me.
I was not at all impressed.
Really?
It just looked like some generic anime game. Honestly, you're just flying around in a mech shooting something.
Yeah, you're flying around in a mech and shooting things. That's
there
really
are
cool.
Plenty of games for you to play if that's all you're interested in doing.
It looked really cool, and there were 2 of the things, and so that made me think co-op, of course. Sure. We didn't learn much about it.
Right.
But the speed of it was nice. Right now, kind of a popular game is BattleTech. And it's a turn-based strategy mech game,
right? Which
is cool to me, but at the same time, like, you're in big giant mechs that can shoot rockets, and you're taking it step by step, real slowly.
Which makes sense if you're a giant robot,
right?
You move slowly.
I want
you want Gundam.
Yes, I want Gundam.
Which there is a new Gundam game coming out.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's called Gundam Break, and you play as. This is a true story. You play as Gundam action figures it's real. Look it up. It's weird.
It's like the Book of Life movie. It's
never saw it.
Oh, the movie is people. It's a girl telling a story with puppets, and so everything is CG puppets.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so Daemon X Machina looked interesting enough to get my attention, and that was the very first thing they started off with, and I was like, all right, let's go. And then once they hit Mario Party, I was like, I love Mario Party, but my first thought was Fox and I are going to play a lot of Mario Party on his Switch. But then they put the 2 Switches together. And they did the thing where like they swiped from one to the other.
And that's awesome.
That was rad.
That's impressive. Not just like, oh, that looks really cool. It's like, wow, that's actually like cool. Like, how do you do that?
That was really cool.
That question, like, that's my question. When I saw that, I was like, is this something new they added, or did they have the foresight to be able to incorporate, like, because it didn't seem like they were clicking together, because they put them in different areas.
Yeah, like here? No, let's do this.
No, let's put it here.
Yeah.
And so, like, it just seemed like, I don't know about the tech, but did they, like, know we're going to want to do this eventually and incorporate the ability to like communicate with other Switches, or is this something new with the game? Like, I was just kind of impressed. Like, it seemed like a cool tech thing, like tech demo to me.
Right. Absolutely. And then they hit Fire Emblem, which if you like Fire Emblem, that looked very good.
Yes, it looks really cool. Like, it visually looks cool, and it looks like Fire Emblem, but more and bigger and like full console game.
And then, of course, with each one of these things, you have to take into account that you can play it anywhere.
Yes.
And that is always going to be a thing. You know, like, I think to myself often, like, man, it'd be really good if I could just pick up my PC and carry it with me places, or my PlayStation 4 and carry it with me places. Like I'm not even thinking, like, on the bus or in a car. I'm thinking, like, what if I just go on vacation for a while?
Right.
You know, it'd be cool to take that with... You can do that with the Switch. It's really easy. And so...
Yeah, every Switch game is basically announcing a full console and a mobile... or not mobile, handheld game at the same time.
Right.
Which is so nice. If you own one, you're like, I can play this anywhere I wanted to. Maybe I don't want to play this at home, but what if I'm, like, just sitting somewhere and have some time? So I want to play it.
Yeah, that was really intriguing to me, and the Fire Emblem game was, especially for a guy who didn't really play Fire Emblem. Then, of course, Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they dedicated, and this was, I thought, their misstep.
Agreed.
It was a relatively short presentation, which I don't care about length. I care about, like, the quality of your content. But this, over half of their show was Smash Brothers.
Man.
And it should have been the first 10 minutes maybe? It should have been what they showed should have been stopped at the first 10 minutes of, because most of it was just like, here's little differences in how each character plays. But their presentation was impressive.
It was really good.
For Smash, yeah.
Yes.
Specifically.
Their announcements were really cool, but
yes.
The comparison that was given in a Facebook group that we're part of, saying it was like listening to the patch notes on a game that's already out.
Exactly.
And it was like that a lot. Like, here are new ways that this character does things.
Yeah, they literally were like, this person has a new voice actor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm not listening to what they're saying.
And, when you read through patch notes, they're exactly like that. Like, 3.0.1.1.2.
Yes.
New voice.
Slightly changed voice.
For this character and this character.
Yeah. For Bayonetta.
Exactly. And they hit things like that.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Which, it was a downside to me because A, it was pretty boring. But B, it just felt like we're getting... It's called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is, in one sense, cool because it literally has every single character that you ever played in any Smash Brothers. You can be in this, which is awesome.
Yeah,
and it also has the new what's the paint game, the Splatoon. Yeah, you can be a character from that. But it's that, but also it just feels like to me when they released the Game of the Year edition of another game, where it's like, here's the same thing with all the DLC, but if you've already played that, then there's nothing new for you.
Right.
And this just feels like an attempt to get people who have played Wii U or 3DS, Smash 4, here, play this one too, because you can, but it feels as though mechanically and visually it's not really that different. Yeah. Which is fine for me. I never played Wii U or the Smash 4, so this is brand new to me, but...
Yeah, and I
agree. A little underwhelming.
And so, to me, what really makes Smash is that they drop 18 new characters on you.
Yes.
And there was only one new character
announced. One actually new character.
Yeah, and it's Ridley the dinosaur.
No, it's Splatoon character. Was Ridley a character? I did not even watch the whole Smash.
Oh yeah, it's
Can
the
you be
very
Ridley?
Very end. Yeah, Ridley's a character now.
That's one people have wanted in Smash for a very long time. Right. So that's a big announcement.
Yeah, it's because they announced Splatoon character a while back.
Oh, okay.
But there was one new announcement, and that's Ridley is a character now. And so Splatoon character and Ridley character is cool, but they're pulling from their own IP still. What I liked the most is when like Cloud or
Solid Snake. That one's awesome.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Exactly.
What?
Sonic.
I mean, Sonic's Nintendo now.
Now, that's true.
Now he is. But still, yeah, I love those left field ones.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if, like, Marcus Phoenix has joined, I'd love it if they kind of went cross-platform like that. And
to me, I like...
smart for Microsoft.
Because we were talking a lot about Ubisoft and Nintendo crossovers. But because Star Fox is going to be in Starlink.
Yeah.
But I was
Starfield. No,
Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah, Starfield's a different one. Never mind.
But I was like, how cool would it be if Ezio was in Smash?
It's basically becoming like, Soul Calibur, where they each have like their, like, Soul Calibur has Geralt. Ezio's been in a Soul Calibur game.
Yeah,
like
Yoda and Darth Vader have been in,
or Link and Heihachi.
Yeah.
But it'd be, Spawn, which was the coolest of all.
I didn't know Spawn was
in the Xbox version of Soul Calibur 3.
That's awesome.
And he was the coolest to play with ever. Because Spawn's awesome.
So yeah, I was hoping for some not Nintendo IP characters, but I do understand they're like, look, guys, we have like 70 characters to choose from.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you really need us to announce more?
Yes.
And so I get that.
Here's the thing, watching the Smash Brothers, I was excited, I'm going to play it, but then in that Facebook group, somebody, like one of the mods, he was like, looks like we're going to have some SSOG, that's the Facebook group, some tournaments. And I was like, oh, wait, I really want to play it now.
Yeah.
Purely because there are eight player battles, which has been a thing since 4.
Right.
And I've never played those. And just playing 8 player battles online with people that I talk to every once in a while just sounds really fun. Like, the multiplayer aspect is really, which is very rare for me, is what got me really invested in wanting to play the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty pumped for that. As far as other Nintendo things go, let me look at the Oh, Fortnite was announced. Don't care.
Right. That's cool. Good for you guys.
Smart move for them.
Yeah, that's a good job. But to me, that's like meh.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. It piqued my interest a little bit, but not super. Dang it! I felt like there was something.
I have some negative things to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so here is something that I was really disappointed with in Nintendo, and it's a flaw that they have often is zero live or actual gameplay. And they had like some pre-shot gameplay, and in Mario Party they like showed you people playing the game.
It was, yeah.
But all of it is edited and like put up there. I mean, they have snippets of gameplay, but all of it's edited, all of it's rendered and things like that, and it really just makes you think to yourself like, for all we know, this could be nothing like the game has actually come out with.
Yes.
And so, for example, like putting the two switches together and swiping across from them, it wouldn't be the first time that a system has said it's going to be like this, and then that just never shows up. Like, I don't know if you know this, but the PlayStation 3 was supposed to support 7 controllers on one system. But that just didn't happen.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Seems
and
unnecessary.
So I was at the E3 in which they were talking, in which that was that generation of consoles was being shown, and the controller on the top went all the way up to 7, had all the lights up to 7, and it was back when it was the boomerang controller, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
But and so there was like, I would not be surprised if we never ever see or hear about switches being put next to each other again, because they were working toward it and it just never actually worked out.
Yeah.
And things like that. And they did it last year too. Like, people were like, Nintendo won because of the announcements they made. But like last year, their announcements were a picture of Metroid Prime 4 logo.
The logo.
Yes.
And then, and like literally just, hey, we're working on a real Pokemon RPG.
Yes.
It wasn't even a logo. It was just, hey, we're making this.
Yeah, a dude said it.
Stop it.
And so, and I'm wondering if that is, Hey You Pikachu or whatever it is, or...
No, so that's what I wanted to bring up. That was the thing I was forgetting.
Okay.
Hey You Pikachu is an N64 game that had the microphone. This is Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which they brought up and showed a little bit of the gameplay.
Right.
But it only showed like a character walking around a town.
Right.
It did not show anything. When there's a full like mainline RPG Pokemon, I will get that so fast for the Switch. That'd be amazing. This isn't that. This is, they didn't explain, but they did say that it's connected to Pokemon Go somehow, because you can transfer your Pokemon Go into that game.
Interesting.
Which, to me, is not a good thing, as far as me wanting to play it. Right. I'm sure there are plenty of people who really would enjoy that.
Yeah.
But to me, it just sounds like a bigger version of something that's just a mobile game.
Right.
And I'm speculating here, because I have to, because they didn't tell us anything.
Yeah, nothing.
They showed a little peripheral, Pokeball, that you can play the game with. I don't care about that.
Right.
It just seems like you don't need it, so it's just extra money for them. So that, I was disappointed by that. I was hoping for at least like a trailer of the full mainline RPG, even if it's coming out next year.
And then they said it was co-op, and I'm like, why?
No, I'm good.
Why?
I'm going to save my money and not play the new Pokemon games. I'm going to play Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee.
Right. But
no thanks.
My point is, they tell us so little is, for all we know, last year when they said we're working on a Pokemon RPG,
it's true.
What if this is what they were talking about?
And we just
never hear about it again?
I read somewhere, I think, that somebody said it's not. I don't have any proof, though.
Right.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
And that's kind of my point is, they're so vague, but they can just whip around these flagships so readily.
That's true.
And they do that, and it creates so much hype. They can just whip out a Metroid Prime 4 logo, and people say they win E3. They can say we're working on a Pokemon RPG, never say anything again about it, never allude to it, never do anything about it, but people get hyped about it.
To release a little more information, this is what we're going to talk about when we talk about who won E3. Those are the caveats that we're going to bring on there. But I think we should move on to Sony.
Okay.
Nintendo didn't have a whole lot. We've talked about too much, I think, already.
Okay.
Let's move on to Sony.
Which
was my favorite mainline, of course, of the three, because I own a Sony
I own
the Sony. We both play PlayStation 4 the most,
right?
Out of what we have, and there were some really big things. I'm gonna start with Last of Us Part 2.
That's what they started with.
Blew my freaking mind.
Kablooey!
In so many ways.
Confirmed 2 timelines, by the way.
Well, 2 timelines? What do you mean?
So we had a preview. I don't know if it was E3 last year, but a preview came out in which Ellie is late teens playing a guitar, and Joel walks up,
right,
and says,
that was the very first thing they ever announced for it.
What they just showed at E3 was mid-20s Ellie, and Joel was not there at all.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's speculation. We don't know exactly how old she is, and Joel not being there doesn't mean... Like, it literally was just 2 characters that were focused on.
An article I just read, they confirmed you're going to play through 2 timelines.
Oh, that's great. I'm all about it.
A late teens Ellie and a mid-20s Ellie.
I love it.
I love it too.
To me, that's what's beautiful about... I mean, everything is about Last of Us. It's one of the greatest games, ever made to me for a lot of reasons. But I love the fact it does the number one thing that any piece of art needs to do is focus on the human characters that you connect with before anything else. And it does that to the best possible level. But also, on the surface, if you were to describe Last of Us, it's about people surviving against evil villain. But there's just so much room that they have because you care about the characters more than about the monsters or about the world. There's so much room. So when it's a trailer, I would have been fine if they did not show gameplay for this trailer. I'm really happy they did because it was awesome. But if they had just shown that CGI scene where it's the 2 girls, Ellie and the whatever girl dancing together and talking, that would have been fine because that's what I care about. I care about the characters and what's going on in their lives. I want to know what the fallout in their relationship is after Ellie discovers what Joel did at the end of Last of Us. I want to find out more about Ellie's mom because there's speculation that that's what I want to. Also, I guess there's going to be monsters that will fight probably. Right. You're cool, that'll be fun. But I want to know. And so that trailer was so well done. In so many ways, just the wraparound scene around the gameplay, giving her words some more weight, people should be scared of you. In a lot of ways. Yeah. She is a terrifying individual and wants to murder people.
Well, doesn't want to, but happily will. That's just the same thing.
That's the same thing. That might be worse. Happily will is different than just wanting to.
Yay! But... See, I'm going to slightly disagree with you on the gameplay thing. Gameplay is important to me because, and my immediate example is going to be The Last Guardian. The Last Guardian's story was beautiful, and it was wonderful, and it was great, but the gameplay was so frustrating. And to this day, I don't know if I want to call it the best, worst game I've ever played or the worst, best game I've ever played, because the story and visuals were so good, but the gameplay was so bad. And... So it's important to have the marriage of the two. And,
I agree, of course.
But that the gameplay, we know the gameplay of Last of Us, and we know that it's smooth and good. But then to see the gameplay in Last of Us 2, that it's similar but better.
Yeah. I'll put it this way: good. If I play Just Cause 4 and it's a story-driven very heavily leaning on emotion and consequences of actions of what Rico is doing, tearing down these dictators and all these things, that'd be cool. But if it means that the gameplay is a little lacking, I'll be disappointed mostly because I play Just Cause for blowing crap up. Yeah. I do not care. So it's always a case by case, there's not a one size fits all when it comes to this stuff, but Last of Us 2...
We play for the story.
I'm playing that for the story. Yeah. Because I care about that more than fighting
bad guys. In 11 minutes, we care about Ellie so much.
Yes. You wanted her to survive. I'm so happy that she's, kind of being normal.
Yeah. You want her to get the girl. You see her awkward with her friend next to her.
Right, it's awesome. You're wait a minute, isn't this a game about, zombie clicker creatures in a post-apocalypse? Oh, wait, it doesn't matter.
Because it's just, in its essence, The Last of Us is a game about retaining humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's...
Any good zombie
to harken back to an old episode, which is kind of what made me struggle with the end of Last of Us.
Sure.
The first Last of Us. But yeah, it's a game about retaining your humanity, and they balance that so well to show her readiness for violence and kind of like what would be considered inhumane.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they humanize her so much with that entire dance scene, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it was really good.
We could spend an entire episode talking about The Last of Us Part 2.
Sounds great.
But yeah, so here we go. No, but we could also spend an entire episode talking about any of the other games.
Yeah, so let's hit those major ones.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, please.
My game of 2018.
Oh, yes, freaking please. It's an open world. Like, it's baffling to me why Assassin's Creed hasn't attempted this yet. A open world feudal Japan
yes.
where you play as like a ninja. Well, I mean, I guess that'd be more Chinese, but
samurai. No, ninjas are also Japanese.
Are they? Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, I'd rather play as a ninja because they are stealth based.
Right.
If you're an assassin in Assassin's Creed, anyway.
Ninjas are essentially samurai without honor.
There you go.
That's really it.
Okay. Yeah. But I like it. It looks so beautiful, and I don't care about what a game looks like, but I will acknowledge that it looked amazing.
It looks gorgeous, and they try to really hammer in Japanese art styles.
Right.
So there was like there's one battle at the end of their again live gameplay playthrough of
yes.
it. There's one battle at the end of it that's sunset next to a sakura tree.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's sad, and you don't even know why it's sad.
Yep.
You know that these two people are fighting when they shouldn't have to.
They shouldn't be. Yes.
And that's all we really know, but it's still heartbreaking.
You know a little bit. It's based on ideology.
Right.
Like the concept is that the Mongols
are
have invaded, and they have just different ways to deal with it, and that's why they're fighting, and that's a good reason to fight. It's not just you're bad guy and I'm good guy.
But the dude is like, we shouldn't be fighting. If we fight, they win. And she's like, rah, 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 or whatever. Right. We don't really know anything, but they beautifully painted
there's
this
great
as
moments
a sad
where like
moment.
Yeah, he tells her like, you hear them, that's the enemy.
Yeah.
And then they never show the enemies. They just show like arrows falling in, and then this fire start building up around them, and it's like they don't show it, but you know exactly what's happening.
Unseen
and
horror.
It creates this great like scene, like this great moment of just this like epic battle, even though it's just two people. It's epic because of the situation they're in and just the relationship between them that you can glean. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm very excited for that game.
It looks so
I'm really excited
good.
that Sucker Punch is moving on from Infamous. Infamous was fun, but I feel like this will have a lot more weight to it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And they're being a little bit more serious.
Exactly.
You know? And I've also read a little bit on it and talking about how they are trying to be historically accurate with this.
They need to be.
Right, which is something that I think that games are becoming more and more, to find more and more important.
Right.
And to me, that makes things like games more and more valid as a medium.
Yes.
Because now, like, students are going to go to school and they're going to start learning something and they're going to say, oh, I know about this. I played Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
You know, I know about ancient Egypt. I played Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
I know these things because I already learned it via this video game. Or
they use it in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, Assassin's Creed is giving you the option. Like, guaranteed Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to have another, like, educational mode.
Yeah.
Like, go to school. We're learning about the Parthenon today. Mm-hmm. Let's explore it as character, whatever his name is.
Or her.
Like, sure. You get him or her.
And so, Ghost of Tsushima, had this perfect Japanese style, very true, not just to the history, but to the culture of it, and just this sad beauty through the entire thing.
Yeah.
But also so much smooth power.
Yeah.
I mean, this main character is incredibly strong in his ability, and it's amazing. So to me, that was my game that intrigued me the most.
The entire thing?
Yeah. That's my game of the year.
I've already talked about mine, Cyberpunk, because I love it. I love CD Projekt Red mostly,
I can never
but also
ever
love the cyberpunk setting.
I do too. It's very cool, but I can never pick a game that does not have gameplay.
100% fair. Yeah. I understand, and as we're talking, I might come up with something different because that's how good this year was. Right. Anyway, I'm going to bring up another. Like they had 4 major games that they showed.
They did 4 pillars.
Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. The next one was Death Stranding, which I was underwhelmed by.
I wasn't underwhelmed by it.
I was.
It was exactly what I expected it to be.
I'm fine with confusing storylines. I've played Kingdom Hearts. I've played Metal Gear Solid, which is the same. Like, I'm fine with confusing that I don't understand, but still fun to play. But I was underwhelmed by their presentation of it. Mm-hmm. I want more concrete details.
Yes.
What am I going to be doing? What is Norman Reedus going to be doing in this game? And I need like a point to play it. Like, not necessarily like the whole story, just like what's going on, or at least like an emotional thing that I understand more. I don't have any idea what the actual storyline of Ghost of Tsushima is, but that like moment of like character introduction between those two, and like you get to know his motivation. He's trying to help people. You get to know that there's these bad, evil Mongols invading, and then there's also going to be intrigue because there's characters that you were once friends with that you aren't anymore. Like, that's great. That's a great introduction to a game, and to me, Death Stranding failed on that part.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, you even said, I don't know anything about the story. Yes, you do. You just said it. Like, you know, you're a guy who's trying to help people during an invasion.
the actual plot.
You know that because they
showed it without showing it.
Beautifully. Exactly, yeah. We have seen probably a total of, half an hour, 45 minutes?
At least, yes.
Of Death Stranding.
Various things.
And still have no idea what the crap is happening.
It's a
Norman Reedus carried a baby in his backpack.
He had he had a fanny pack.
Oh, fanny pack.
Filled with a baby.
And it was, that's filled with a baby. That's a good way to put it. It wasn't like a baby carrier. It was a womb, like a portable womb.
That's my if we're going to speculate, my guess is it'll be some kind of dystopia where human beings aren't born anymore, and he's protecting one, a la like Children of Men style. Right. But also it had all these like ghosts or acid rain or something.
Aliens?
All the developers of it keep showing up in the Hideo Kojima showed up in the Metal Gear Solid 5 prequel, but it's weird. It's kind of distracting that there are actual actors in it, right? Which has been a thing, but it's also like, hey, that's Mads Mikkelsen. I love that guy. Yeah, and I'm out of the game. Like I'm out of the preview.
But it happens in movies too, though.
100%. I agree. But yeah, I just wish there was more. They showed gameplay and but I still don't know what
they showed. A lot of gameplay, they did, and I still have no clue what the freak is happening.
What I'm going to be doing,
and I know they're doing this on purpose because they cut it in a way in which very specifically you still don't know what's going on, and I'm like, so I can readily say that's a bad idea. Right? You didn't make a mistake. You made the wrong choice.
Yes, I'll possibly play it. But as of right now, I'm not going to.
Right. I am not interested right now.
Right.
But I'm not interested because it doesn't look interesting. I'm not interested because I don't know anything about it. I don't know
what I'm going to be doing.
So until they let us know more, I can't even say that I won't play it. I can just say, I don't know what it is.
What is this?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last one they showed, their
Spider-Man,
big major one was Spider-Man.
Because they showed a lot.
Yes.
But
the last major, they spent more time on these four pillars more than the others.
Yeah, the announcer that was in between, because if you guys didn't know this, it was a really cool thing that Sony did. For the live show, they first herded everybody into a church that they built. Right. Like a barn type church thing, and it was an experiential room specifically for Last of Us 2.
Which was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
But it was weird that it was like a 5-10 minute interlude. Well, it would have been cooler if I was actually there. For me, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, give me a few minutes.
Yeah, for the outside viewer, it's a little bit weird, but I
change the set. Don't make everybody move.
Well, for me, that gave all those people 10 minutes to decompress what they just saw.
Yes, it's true. It was an intense. Yeah. Started with a guy just playing banjo. It was the
musician.
Yeah, it was the composer.
Thank you. Yeah. But that was a huge presentation, and giving everybody 10 minutes to talk about exclusively that was a really good idea for them. Yeah,
they're leaning heavily on that. So,
but for us, it was weird because right afterward they just went to people and we're like, we're watching people.
I thought it was just like a false start where I was watching the wrong thing, or I thought I had the wrong stream or something. It was kind of weird. Anyway, Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, but I still have yet to be convinced that I'm really going to play this.
Really?
I probably will eventually. I think my problem was that the very first thing they ever showed was basically just this from last year, that they showed a QuickTime event heavy. It didn't seem like anybody was really playing the game. It just kind of seemed like press these buttons at the right time. This was a little better because it showed some of the open worlds, or at least the gameplay that they showed from the conference, not necessarily from this presentation. Showed a lot more open world stuff, but also in this their presentation, it kind of felt like the same. Like it's just Spider-Man jumping up and down, and you just keep pressing the X button, and he'll jump to the next spot, and you jump over, and then there's cutscenes where you don't actually fight bad guys; they just show up, and like it didn't seem like it was gameplay without gameplay, is what it felt like.
To me, what it looked like is a very rock-steady Spider-Man.
Yes.
It was really Batman Arkham-esque.
Which also didn't help me.
And, no, see, to me, I love the Batman Arkham games.
Sure.
I love the combat in them. I think they're great. You're button mashing, and you can get through it, but if you're really good, it almost becomes like a piano composition. A rhythm, where you know that I want to hit the buttons in this order at this time to make him go through this long series of attacks.
Exactly.
And it's going to be the most effective.
Which will be cool. The most excited I got was when I watched after the presentation when they showed the actual demo they had.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, if you stuck around after the Sony presentation, there was still more going on.
A lot more.
Yeah, and they announced more games and like smaller games, but it was like a VR game by... Oh, who was making the VR game? I can't remember. From Software. I think it was a From Software
VR there is game. A From Software VR game.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a From Software VR game, but then they played like 20 minutes of Spider-Man, and the dude just played it, and we just watched him play it and they talked about it. And
the best Spider-Man game ever made was Spider-Man 2.
But why was it the best Spider-Man game ever played?
Because that's sweet open world.
Exactly,
and that's why I got most excited when watching that.
Yeah.
The QuickTime event missions were like, okay, but then swinging around the world, that's what I want to do all day long.
Yes, just swing for fun.
Just be Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I like Spider-Man. It looked a lot of fun for that. It's one that I would probably pick up like when it goes on a discount at some point, or if it's on sale.
Yeah, I'll wait for reviews. I've got so many games to play the rest of this year that's not, and that's coming out in September, and I've already got like 4 in September, so I'll probably wait on that one.
So that was the fourth pillar.
Yes.
And my game of the year was Ghost of Tsushima, but for me, like, when I'm going to talk about hype, like hype.
You're spinning around right now.
Yeah, I wanted to get that good, like, echo.
The
good audio on that. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Really? Like, that's cool, but it's just a remake.
Oh, but it's not just a remake because...
It's basically
it's an entire redo
actual
of it.
Remake.
Yes.
Not a remaster.
Right. So, to me, Resident Evil, what made it so creepy at the time was the fixed cameras and a lot of the atmospheric thing. But they've taken Resident Evil 2 and they realized, look, this is the destruction. Like, this isn't just a mansion, a creepy haunted house, quote unquote, that you're going through. This is the destruction of Raccoon City that we're seeing here. This should be an action game. This is the first time we see lickers. This is the first time we get hints of monsters like Nemesis. Like, this is the first time we see these things. It should be an action game. Wait, who did we revolutionize the third-person action series with? Oh yeah, Leon Kennedy, who stars in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And so it's like this whole thing where it's like, you know what? Resident Evil 2 action game. Let's meet Ada Wong again. Let's be Claire Redfield again. Let's be Leon Kennedy again.
Wait, is Leon Kennedy not in 2?
Leon Kennedy stars
in 2.
The
original 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was introduced in 4.
No, yeah, he is the main character of 2. He's a raccoon police officer.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we get to see all of this, but it's action style now, and I am just hyped.
We played the Resident Evil 1 remake, so we'll probably have to play the Resident Evil 2 remake.
For sure.
Yeah.
But dibs.
You
100%. Played Resident Evil.
I'll gladly watch you play it.
Okay.
That's fine.
So, man, I'm stoked for it.
Let's move on to, we'll move through these quickly because we're already at over an hour here, but the smaller...
The smaller publishers.
The developer publisher ones.
Yeah.
That each had their own, which were Square Enix, Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Ubisoft. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And EA. And EA.
Yeah.
Let's just go chronological.
EA
was
EA had
I don't have anything really to say.
Some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even the crowd was underwhelmed.
Yes.
And it was really
when they announced Battlefield 5 Royale, the reaction was hilarious because it wasn't woo and it wasn't boo. It was oh.
Yeah.
It was like like a disgust. And like that was perfect.
Like disappointment.
Yeah,
they
weren't just utter it was just like, really, this is what you're doing. Which I kind of understand because Battlefield's like big or Royale games are really big right now.
Yeah.
It eventually just become another multiplayer mode. It won't be that big a deal eventually. But right now it just seems like let's jump on the Royale train and get some money from it.
The Royale thing rose and fell so fast.
Yes.
And
even rhythm games lasted longer.
Like right now, it's like somebody pulling out a fidget spinner and being like, and we have fidget spinners. Like, okay, that was very cool for 8 seconds.
Yes, and
stop.
Oh man, that's such an apt comparison. Same demographic also. Yeah,
it is, it really is. And so, like, we have Royale mode. It's like, guys, it's done now.
Just stop.
We already
stop trying to make Royale work.
Yeah,
it's
we're
not going to work.
We're already over it. Or it worked really well, and PUBG and Fortnite did it.
That's true.
They did it.
It's been done.
Stop.
Right.
You can't anymore.
Yeah, just try something new.
Yeah. And so it's disappointing.
It was hilarious.
It really is.
But that's really all I have to say about EA. I didn't care about.
I mean, they had some cool stuff to show. Do you have their games there?
No, I just have Bethesda up right
here.
But...
Gosh, I can't remember because
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Again, because it was underwhelming.
Yep, I
really
watched it. I don't remember much.
Star Wars stuff. They had some Star Wars stuff with DICE, and I like that they actually admitted like we made some mistakes.
They did. Hey, we screwed up.
And we're changing it.
Here's prequel content.
Right. And so I was actually pretty excited about that. The prequels are very good movies. And so getting some of my favorite characters from those really good movies.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Here's why I don't like EA. Or I didn't really care about EA, mostly because of business practices.
Yeah.
This is, hey, I don't like what you've done. I'm not going to support you.
Yeah.
I will not play any of the games you've shown.
Yep.
Like, even if they're good, I'm good. No, thank you.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on from here.
Yeah. Ubisoft was next, I believe.
Ubisoft was next, and Ubisoft was one that I was really torn on.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, man. Again, I'm having a hard time coming up with what they actually showed.
Well, for me, the big one was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay, that's true. They showed that.
Right. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looked really good. It looked really good, but it looked like Assassin's Creed Origin with a new
Greek
map face.
With a new map.
Yes. Yeah, a new map. So it looked, I don't want to say DLC because it's probably going to be its own 60,
massive
70
game,
hours of
yeah.
play. But at the same time, the Shimmering Isles was DLC.
Shivering Isles for Oblivion?
Oblivion, yeah. And to me, that was a brand new map. It was another 60 hours of gameplay for me. Whole new kingdom, really. And it was the same type of thing. And a brand new game from it. I don't know.
I'm going to play it because I loved Origins and I want to support Ubisoft.
Here's what I'll say. I'm biased
stuff.
because I have never ever played an Assassin's Creed game.
Wow, you're the one?
Yeah, I'm the one.
I mean, pure quantity just determines how many. There's so many Assassin's Creed.
You may have accidentally played one.
Yeah, like, how do you not?
I mean, I guess that's not true. I accidentally... Oh, Trials Rising. That was what I was doing.
Yeah,
it was
there you go.
Ubisoft. It wasn't Microsoft.
Right.
But I own Assassin's Creed Unity, but it was a gift to me.
Yeah.
And just didn't... I don't know. It just wasn't...
Yeah, the Unity, like, that era where there was a couple that came out really close together, I didn't play any of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, they showed some other stuff, like Transference, which is a VR horror game.
Transference is good, but it's meant to be VR.
Not gonna play it.
No, what really intrigued me was Skull and Bones.
Really, I don't care about pirate multiplayer games. Like, I'm not a multiplayer guy, so I'm not saying it looked bad. I'm just saying I looked I was uninterested.
Yeah,
it just looked like Sea of Thieves, but with more realistic graphics to me.
And Sea of Thieves really intrigued me too. I'm not playing it, but I don't know. The idea of sailing a ship and being able to cannon fight another ship.
It's a fun idea.
Yeah.
But it seems like a pretty one note to me.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say, though, that Ubisoft left a bad taste in my mouth altogether, and it's partially my fault.
Oh, yeah.
But they showed Starlink Battle for Atlas. It's a space game. Where you...
Sci-fi, the game.
Where you fly in a spaceship and shoot things.
Yes.
And then that ended. Then they showed somebody looking at a comlink, and they're like tapping it, like, what's going on? What? I can't get it. And then there was like,
yes,
right. And it was all the original Super Nintendo voiceovers for Star Fox, and I was like, what?
Oh snap! New Star Fox.
And then they brought in Star Fox, and then they brought in his ship. And then they brought Miyamoto on stage.
Yeah.
And then they gave him a little Star Fox thing. And like all of this communicated to me. And again, I'll admit that this was a little naive of me. But all of this communicated to me. Ubisoft and Nintendo are working together to make a new Star Fox game. And I was like, what?
Oh, snap. That's kind of shocking that they're bringing in another... Oh, it's too good to be true.
And it was. And then it turned out, no, Star Fox is a playable character in Starlink.
Which, whatever.
I
lost all interest.
I cared and then didn't.
Yep. Then Ubisoft showed Just Dance. Whatever.
Right.
Mario Rabbids DLC. Don't care.
Right. But the Division 2 looks good.
I like the idea of the Division.
Yeah.
I could be convinced to do a free trial, but then probably lose interest. Like with most multiplayer games.
But here's the thing that I'm going to say. Trials Rising looked really goofy and hilarious.
Sure.
And there's the first Trials game, and I think it's free on PS Plus.
There's been a lot of Trials games.
And I'm probably going to play that just for fun.
Yeah, sounds great.
I'm not going to buy it, because I think the first Trials is free on PS Plus now.
I think so, yeah.
But I'll probably play that for free.
Right.
But I'm probably not going to buy Trials Rising.
Yeah, so. Ubisoft was, that's about it. Like, it was okay.
They had good stuff. They had really good stuff. They had the Beyond Good and Evil trailer that looked really good.
Sure.
Again, Transference looked intriguing, but...
I'm going to leave the best till last again.
Okay.
Let's move on to Square Enix, which was actually pretty good for me.
Really?
I'm an RPG kind of guy.
Yeah, but I was
Dragon Quest VIII is already coming out in a couple months. Like, we already know that, so it's not something, like, it wasn't big. But Octopath Traveler is next month. Like, it kind of got me more excited for things I'm already going to be playing.
Right.
But they also showed Just Cause 4, and I love Just Cause.
Right.
So I'm all about those. All about playing the new Just Cause. And then there was a lot on Kingdom Hearts 3, which I'm also really excited for that. Like, I guess I'll say Square Enix's presentation was more hype about things I'm already going. Like, there was nothing that I was like, oh, interesting, now I'm gonna play that. It was like, oh yeah, I can't wait till those come out. Like, I already know about these. I have 2 of them pre-ordered already.
Right.
Yep, gonna play them.
I was really disappointed that they didn't even have edited, pre-made gameplay. Everything was a trailer.
Yeah, well, there's some stuff in like they've shown Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay before,
right? But
and there was some stuff in this.
Show me something.
It's shocking
different.
how you mentioned while we were watching them, we were talking. You mentioned that it was weird that Kingdom Hearts 3's trailers, they showed like 3 different ones, and they all had this weird feeling of like incompleteness to me.
No, they all had voiceover, but no sound effects.
No sound effects, which is strange.
It was really weird, yeah.
To show something that's supposed to come out in 6 months that you've been working on for 14 years. And not just show what the game is like. It just felt like, here's what we're working on.
To me, it was like they haven't sent it to the Foley artists yet.
Yes.
And if they haven't had, like, if there's no sound effects, like, what?
Maybe it's a bold new strategy of only voiceovers. It's like a faceless character, or like a nameless character, like a voiceless character that you project yourself onto.
Nameless, faceless, voiceless. There it is.
Sounds hilarious.
Now it's just Slender Man.
Yeah. Or yeah, or you project your own Foley onto the game to like, nope.
You're playing the game. Ching! Oh no!
Actually, how fun would that be?
Whoosh! Whoosh!
He spat in his mouth. Oh.
And I'm pretty sure there was a shark in there. Yep, there he is.
I'm gonna have to watch that after this because it's such a funny intro. Anyway, Square Enix was mostly just, those are games that I'm gonna play.
So this is the one I was both most intrigued and worried.
I was kind of
about.
Grossed out by this as a presentation.
The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
So The Quiet Man, it looks like, we don't know much about it, but it looks like you play as a deaf person.
Yes.
Or a mute person.
Which is kind of cool.
Right. But the weirdest thing was, it was like live video.
It was a live
FMV,
action commercial looking type thing.
And then they transitioned into the CG gameplay.
Yeah, seamlessly.
And then they transitioned back into the live action again. And they did it seamlessly, but you could very clearly tell the difference between the two.
Right. Which there's been games that do this. I mean, FMV games were all the rage.
Yeah.
That's very different. But there's also Quantum Break that came out like last year, which I didn't play. I watched a couple of reviews of it, and I was like, yeah, probably shouldn't play that. And it was basically half game, half like TV show, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it didn't transition into each other. They were very separate, but it was still really bad. And so I think that's just got, like, the game itself was just dumb.
But you can do it well. Like there's an indie game called Her Story. And it was really cool. I watched a playthrough of it. It was really, really cool. But this did not do it well.
Yeah, it seems weird to me. Like, I feel like that should have something to do with the actual game. Right. Because it just seems like a gimmick if it doesn't.
Which it might be.
That'd be cool.
I just don't know how, because they didn't show us anything. New game coming out in the Life is Strange world, which I don't play Life is Strange, but it looks cool.
That was the one that...
Obviously, Tomb Raider and Just Cause.
That was another one. That was another one of the... Both of those were like, I'm going to be playing those.
Right, but we know a lot about them already.
Yeah. The best non-mainline, like the best smaller developer by far, and this was my favorite presentation to watch, even with Sony having so many great games, was Bethesda.
Yeah.
I just love how they presented everything.
They were so personal.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like you were just having a conversation with a dude.
Todd Howard, he gets a lot of crap for a lot of things, and sometimes rightfully so. But he is just a cool guy, I think.
Yeah.
Like, their presentation started off, with Andrew WK coming out and playing a song, which I love Andrew WK, and that song seemed really apt for Rage 2. I played Rage, and it was underrated, I think. I loved Rage, and I'm excited for Rage 2. And then after that, they showed a few things, and then Todd Howard came out and just said, just talked about games. It was great. It was just him.
I love the beginning. He's like, we're going to start with an announcement that you may have already found out from our friends at Walmart, known for their low prices and ability to keep a secret.
Yeah, what game was that was announced that way?
It was Rage 2.
Rage 2. Yeah, that one was hilarious. Or their video on, here's where Skyrim is going to be next. And it's Skyrim
for Alexa.
The very special edition. It's on Alexa, but then also your Samsung, smart fridge.
Yeah.
And when you do the ice attack, ice falls out of the ice.
That's cool.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary. Didn't tell us anything.
The key was in it.
But fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was great. But then they also showed a lot of cool crap.
Doom Eternal, Prey DLC, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Blades,
yes, please,
Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6.
Yet,
Starfield is going to be...
It's a single-player big sci-fi.
Yeah, it's going to be... Because their whole thing is...
You give me Elder Scrolls in space, I'm down.
It's exactly that. I think it's because they have Elder Scrolls and dystopian...
I want to talk about every single thing they talked about. I loved Doom as...
Okay, let's talk about Rage 2. Tell me everything about Rage 2, Fox.
It was they've
you don't know anything about
They showed lots of gameplay.
No, I know they did. I'm just saying you personally don't play Rage and you don't know anything about it.
I played Rage when it came out.
Did you really?
I just said that. I said I played the first Rage.
It
came out 7 years ago.
I know that. I just never heard you talk about it.
I did. Before. It was fun. It was underrated, but also not amazing. That's what I'll say. It was fun to play, though. It reminded me of Mad Max.
Yeah.
This looks great. Looks like they're going a little more off the walls with it. A little more crazy. And that's what I like. Doom Eternal. I played Doom, and everybody loved Doom. It was amazing. Really excited for it.
I love that they didn't take it seriously.
They didn't tell you anything about it, which was a little disappointing, but also they will in just a couple months at their own
and not
thing.
to mention that, to me, there are games that you need to hear things about, like Last of Us 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sure.
I don't think that's Doom is one of those.
Doom
things.
is a proven like it. Also, you also have to take into account like the games before that have like proven themselves. Doom, the new Doom was amazing.
Right.
So just the simple announcement with a CGI trailer for Doom Eternal, more than enough for me right now.
But for me, like Halo Infinite, they showed Master Chief's helmet, they showed him, like, that's cool, but there is a lore. There is an in-depth lore.
And Halo has such a variety of what their games have been like.
Right.
One of them was mostly multiplayer. They've Halo Wars. Like most of them have
one of them was on RTS.
Yeah, Halo Wars. Yeah.
And so, but there's a story that you would like to know more about. Like, what am I doing in the life of Master Chief of John?
Doom 2.
In this. You don't care.
You don't care.
I get to shoot more demons on Mars.
Literally, what they say is, the space what's his name? The Doom
guy.
Doom guy, but they call him the Doom Slayer. Doom Slayer is his
Doom
title.
Slayer.
The Doom Slayer is more powerful. You shoot twice as many demons. Hell comes to Earth. Boom. See you in a couple months.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yes.
And you can be stoked for it.
I'm done.
Yes.
Prey. I liked Prey. I played that as well. None of this DLC seemed real. I mean, the moon crash thing kind of felt interesting. Like
that I really
It was an
liked.
interesting take on adding something new to the game. It was like a roguelike type DLC where it changes up each time.
Right.
Cool concept.
It looked like you're going through the same simulation. It's the same room, the same area, but different things are going to happen every time.
Which is interesting, yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, the other multiplayer stuff I didn't really care much about. Wolfenstein Youngblood, freaking pumped. I love the new Wolfenstein games.
I'm pumped for that because we get to play co-op.
Yep. Co-op Wolfenstein will be a lot of fun. Also, it's not a mainline. There's been rumors. I don't know if it's been announced or if there's apparently the new Wolfenstein games are supposed to be a trilogy. So there was Wolfenstein, the
New Colossus.
New Colossus was the second one.
Okay.
There's Wolfenstein, the New Order.
And
then they came out with Old Blood, which was like a side game.
Right.
Which is kind of a prequel. And then there was New Colossus. And it seems like Youngblood, this is specifically what Pete Hines, who's one of the creative directors, I think, of Bethesda, said, no, it's a side game. So this seems like it's an offshoot. Right. So I'm really excited for that. It's 20 years after New Colossus. I love Wolfenstein. I love how ridiculous they get with it. Fallout 76. Very excited. I completely understand. Yeah. If you're not a Fallout guy, I understand.
I mean, I love Fallout. I love it really good. But the multiplayer,
love it really good.
Love it real good. Give us some good loving. Now, the multiplayer aspect of it is what's weird to me.
Oh, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Mainly after watching Pete Hines talk about what they're coming at it from a very, we don't know how this is going to work.
Right.
We're going to figure it out. Which, with Bethesda, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
They are very dedicated to supporting their players.
They have good
love.
Good loving. That we can trust them. That's what I'm trying to say.
They are they announced so many things. It just the whole time I was like, man, they've made a lot of money off their games. They can do whatever they want.
Well, and there's an amount of look, there are some things that just don't work, and we admit that, but we're not going to fix it because we just, there's too much. You know what I mean?
The 76, the fact that, the whole thing is online. You can't play in an offline world, which I'm pretty disappointed about.
Agreed.
But also, you can still play by yourself. You would just have to deal with other people, which I'm for certain, certainly there's going to be,
jerks?
No, well, sure, but also just PvE worlds.
Trolls.
Yes, absolutely. But generally, in any game, you can just find PvE. We don't kill each other. And they've also said that there's going to be dozens of people in the world, not thousands.
Yeah,
and that's you'll come across them. If you don't intentionally look for them, you'll see them every once in a while.
I've played a lot of games where there will always be that douchebag that has all the best everything because this is what he does with his life.
Sure.
And his entire goal is to grief everybody else.
Now, they have specifically addressed that as well. Apparently, they have systems in place to stop that from happening. Not that you just can't kill each other, but that you won't lose your stuff when you die.
Right.
You obviously no permadeath. That'd be weird.
Right.
But they've apparently got systems in place to try to avoid that. Those are one of the things that they're like, we're hoping this will work and we'll tweak it as it goes.
Right.
But it seems as though they've recognized the possible issues and they're looking at fixing them before they even come into play too big.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that. I also just love the idea of Fallout. Just the concept. Like I've been more interested in like the lore of Fallout a lot more recently. To a certain extent. I like that this is at the beginning, basically, like the first people who emerge from the vaults. I like that. Like, I just want to know, like, I want to explore this world, and I love the fact that that's what you're supposed to do in the game is the thing. I love that the map is 4 times bigger than Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4 was pretty big, so...
Just Cause 4 says that theirs is going to be the biggest map they've ever made, and that is ridiculous.
Just Cause 2 was something like 260 square miles.
Yeah, Just Cause 3 was something like a small country.
Just Cause 3 was smaller than 2.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh.
It was better. Just Cause 2 was huge, but a lot of water. But anyway, yeah, the fact that it's... Yeah, I love huge maps. I will always love huge maps.
Insane to me.
I don't care. Like, I just love them. But yeah, really excited for 76 as well. I'm, in fact, going to pre-order so I can play the beta.
Elder Scrolls Blades, for me...
Surprisingly interesting.
...was one of the most intriguing things that they did.
Yes.
Because the mobile thing is something that I play mobile games a lot. Not like I spend a lot of time playing dumb mobile games.
Yeah. When I have nothing else to do
Out,
or I'm
Bubble
bored.
Pop, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to have something that is more intriguing than being on level 340 of Inside Out Bubble Pop, that to me is interesting. It really is.
There were 2 mobile games that I saw that got a huge focus in either... We didn't talk about it, but in EA's presentation, they talked about essentially, like a top-down strategy... And it was
Command and Conquer.
It looked so... Oh, is it an actual Command and Conquer? I forgot.
Mobile game,
It looked like, why are you spending 10 minutes doing a live demo of this in your... Like, this is dumb.
Right.
And then Blades, which is essentially like a bare bones version of a Fallout or of an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
I was like, how much am I going to pay for this? Like, I was contemplating how much I would pay for this game.
Right.
I would pay $15 for that.
To me, my only struggle is battery. What's this going to do to my 100%,
battery? Yes. Yeah. It looks like it'll draw real heavy on that battery, but surprisingly interested in a mobile game.
Elder Scrolls 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that is going to drain your battery.
I don't even care. Like, I'm obviously that's happening. They're not going to just end the Fallout main series. So obviously it's happened. That was essentially the Microsoft new console thing to me. It's like, oh, great. I know it's happening. You didn't have to show me that.
Yeah.
If you got nothing to show, don't show anything at all.
Right. I agree. But on the flip side of things, Starfield... Starfield...
The other side of the thing, my brain exploded when they showed that.
Was what you should do if you're going to announce something.
Yes.
They're saying, we're working on something new. If they stopped there, that would be stupid.
Yes.
We're making Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, we know, Todd. You know, we're coming out with a new Xbox. Duh, we know that. Starfield is, we're working on something new. Here's our concept for it.
Yes.
And they show space.
Yep.
And a spaceship. And that's all they show you. But at least you know, it's Bethesda, it's space. I have an idea.
You're able to speculate to a certain extent. Like,
right.
Okay, I can... And they did say first player, for one player. Like right, single player. Which, yes, please.
Yeah.
That's cool. If it was multiplayer, I'd be far less interested.
Right.
Because that would change my concept of what this is possibly going to be.
Yep. So, Starfield looked really interesting, but we just don't know much about it.
Right. So, Bethesda... okay, let's do this.
Okay.
We're going to present the question, who won E3, but I'm going to specifically stipulate it to be their presentation. Like, what... Okay. Not like, these games look the best... But just like E3 is an event. E3 does not determine what these games are going to be. Because in reality, the people who won E3 are the ones who actually deliver what they promise. And we can't know that until everything they've announced gets put out or is shown to us. So, we have to we have to specifically keep it to the event. Which you can go with mainline or just the smaller ones.
Okay, but hold...
Which one do you think was the best of E3?
Okay. I'm struggling with your stipulation here.
Okay.
So are you asking which one had the most exciting presentation. Because,
which one did you enjoy watching the most for
like, for
whatever
example,
reason you wanted?
I've seen bands in concert that I don't like their music, but their show was super fun to be at.
Exactly.
So that's all you're asking.
That's what I'm saying.
So they may have bad games.
That's what I'm saying.
But
E3 is an event,
was fun.
not a predictor of the, like, it shows you what's going to come out, but it doesn't determine the quality of their content.
Well, I'm going to spend more time. I'm sorry we're taking up more of your time, but I'm trying to qualify this still. Are you asking me which games am I most excited about? No. Okay.
No. The question is always asked, who won?
Right.
That's talking about a developer, not the games. Because there were games from all of them that I really liked.
Right.
But we're talking about, this question has to be kept to the event, and which of we'll go with Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and any of the four of, like, smaller ones. Which one do you think won as, like, the best of the event?
So, best
just answer the freaking question.
Okay, you want to know which do you think one did I enjoy? Which had the most? Look, Sony, easy.
To be honest, E3 is nothing but a series of commercials, essentially. Right. Nothing is.
If we're basing it on that, Microsoft.
Okay, so you think Microsoft won?
Yeah.
Okay, give us a 30-second why.
So Microsoft came with the most solutions and with the most honesty. Coming in saying like Sony was able to come out and say, we're on top and here's why we're staying on top, son. And they dropped the mic and walked away. And that's awesome. That's great. But it's what we expected from Sony. Okay. Microsoft came out with an amount of humility that I did not expect. I was really surprised. And the dude, it was mostly one presenter who was up there. And like, he even stood up there with humility, like hands in his pockets and like kind of hunched shoulders.
You know that was pre-planned.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Like, and that they had a PR person say, I want you to go out there and stand
Here's
like
how
this.
You stand.
Yeah. And so, but that's good. I think they did that on purpose and that's good. And so their games, they showed a lot. I think as far as quantity goes, they showed the most. I don't know that for sure, but I feel like that's the case. Whether or not they did, I feel like it. I feel like they just showed the most. They showed gameplay, they showed trailers, they had so much going on, but at the same time, they didn't want to overdo anything. Yeah. They didn't have confetti, they didn't come out with a full band and people dancing on stage.
Hey,
Ubisoft.
Andrew WK is awesome.
No, not that. I mean Ubisoft doing the Just Dance one.
Oh, right, right.
No, that was a song and that was cool, but a lot of people did that. I mean, like, they had brass and marching band and a dancing panda.
Yep.
Like, for Just Dance 2019.
Hey, look at us.
For 77th Just Dance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, to me, Microsoft came out with knowing what they needed to do and executing that so well. And I don't own an Xbox, and I am typically not an Xbox fan, but I was really impressed with their presentation. Okay. I was.
Yeah, that's fair. 100%. Yeah. I believe you because you don't have any skin in that game, essentially.
Yeah, I don't. I have no skin in that game. Yeah.
On the other hand...
What's yours, Fox? I wonder.
Bethesda. Yeah. Beyond just the fact that I'm really excited to play those games, I think, like, they kind of presented exactly what I've always wanted from E3. I've always wanted E3 to be less of a corporate, like, here's the spokesman talking about these new products, and more of Todd Howard comes out, who knows about them because he's obviously up, like, the owner or whatever, highest up. But he also is just like, there's some memes about us. Let's make fun of those. Yeah. Also, we know you love Fallout. Like, let's talk about the things you care about. And they showed plenty of gameplay. They showed plenty of, like, trailers. They announced some things that will get your interest. I think it was my favorite because they delivered exactly what I think E3 should be about the whole time. Mm-hmm. The people in the audience don't care about when a person walks out, this is very shallow, but when a person walks out from Xbox in a suit, I'm just like, okay. Like,
yes, they did that all the years in the past, and they come out in suits and they're like, let's talk about how Xbox shows sports now. Yeah. And that's every year. I'm like, why do you guys fail so hard?
Right. It just, I mean, and also this is very personal because there are plenty of people who like sports games, but it's just, it shows that these games are the products that they're creating rather than, hey, Fallout 76 is going to be weird. Yeah. You're going to be not used to it. We recognize that. We're trying to work with it.
We don't know how weird it's going to be until you play it.
It's going to be strange. You're going to be able to blow up parts of the map with a nuclear missile. It's that weird. How are we going to be able to do this? We're not sure. Help us out. Get in this beta. hey, yeah, we know this is a mobile game, and that a lot of you stopped listening when I said that, so I'm going to show you how it's played. Right. Literally play it on stage. Like, they very clearly understood their audience and gave us exactly what we wanted to see. I agree Microsoft recognized their past and was like, here's what we need to do.
Yeah.
But they still very much felt like a series of products that they were showing. Mm-hmm. Like, here's our great products for this next year. But Bethesda's, like, a big thing. Like, I love Andrew WK, but I feel like that song is perfect for the gameplay that they showed. And so it felt very, like, they mashed it up really well. Like, it seemed like a good fit for it.
Yeah.
And it was just right at the start. And then after that, it was just nothing but, here, let's talk about these games. Like, I think they nailed what exactly E3 should be about throughout the entire show.
So with all of your qualifications, you wanted me to say Bethesda. That's what you were
I didn't.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't.
No, I don't like the question who won E3 because, as somebody said on our Facebook group, we did.
Yeah, we win.
The consumers are generally, even though we're going to be paying for everything they showed, because we get to experience these things. But also, I don't believe, like, we should be asking right now who won E3 2017. Because at this point, most of what's been announced has come out, and now we can determine who was lying,
right?
Who presented things that came out that were garbage. Like, so that's why I'm trying to focus it.
The real question is, who displayed the most compelling games that you are most eager to play at some point? And to me, that's when we say who won E3. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Who compelled you?
We have to qualify it. It's
who
such a broad
compelled
question.
you for the games they're presenting
Yes.
the most? Who sold their video games the best? And to me, Sony without question.
I agree.
Yeah,
Bethesda's a close second, but Sony 100%.
Right. And so as far as someone who won E3, I say Sony without question.
If that's how you want to qualify it.
Right.
That's why I'm qualifying it, because it's a broad question.
And so, well, because to me, that's the actual
Question
purpose
for
of E3
broads.
is to advertise their video games.
That is what it is.
Yeah, so...
That's why we have to recognize, like, it's not a competition, guys. They're all just trying to sell us stuff.
Right. So who advertised their video games most successfully? I say Sony did.
Yes.
Because, guess what? You got to see their video games.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of the Nintendo didn't do. Square Enix didn't do. They got to see pictures of their video games.
Right, or CGI trailers.
Yeah, but... you didn't get to see their video game, but Sony showed their games, and they looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I'm really excited.
And Sony did the best job compelling you to their characters.
Yep.
I want to know more about Ghosts of Tsushima people. I want to know more about Ellie. Heck, I actually am still kind of curious what the crap is going on with Norman Reedus. Like,
sure,
it's compelling character building.
Even Spider-Man, like, it's 8 years into being Spider-Man. So I'm curious as where all the Spider-Verse characters come into play.
Yeah.
Because Miles Morales... No, I'm confusing it with the movie. But I'm guessing Spider-Gwen will show up. Like, they have to.
I hope not.
Really?
I dislike the Spider-Verse.
Me too, but if it's very focused and, like, if you disregard the whole world and just say now... Like, if she shows up and it's unexplained, I'd be fine with that.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's detail.
Guys, we've spoken for more than an hour and a half. About
the E3
double our normal
extravaganza.
episode. Yeah, about E3. If you listen to this all in one sitting, well done.
Why? We didn't say anything interesting.
Maybe they just like the dulcet tones of our voice.
No. That can't be it.
And like I said, our voice, like we have a singular voice.
We are one.
So... anyway, thanks guys so much for listening to us. Let us know what you thought of E3. Let us know who you thought won E3 and why you think that is the quote-unquote winner. Like, what does that mean to you to win E3?
Exactly.
Let us know what games you're most hyped for and why. Talk to us about E3. We want to know.
Right.
Thanks again for listening, guys. Remember, save games, save lives.
See you next week.